Hello, and welcome to the snooze button. Find a comfortable position and allow your body to grow heavy, relaxing deeply into the surface beneath you. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath in and a long, gentle breath out. Tonight, we are not going to try to sleep. Instead, we are going to begin a long, quiet journey, a journey along an ancient path under a vast, starry sky. We are traveling the Silk Road, and with each step, each fact, we will drift further and further away into a peaceful, restorative sleep. Just listen to my voice and let the story carry you away. Our journey begins not with a road, but with a thread, a single shimmering strand of silk. According to legend, it was discovered by an ancient Chinese empress, resting under a mulberry tree. A cocoon fell into her warm tea, and as she gently fished it out, it began to unravel into a single, continuous thread. Imagine the stillness of that moment, the quiet garden, the steam rising from the cup, and the discovery of a fiber so fine, yet so strong, it would change the world. A quiet beginning to a very long story. For centuries, the creation of silk was a guarded secret. It happened in quiet, protected rooms, filled with a gentle, hypnotic sound. The sound of thousands of silkworms eating mulberry leaves. A soft, rhythmic, munching sound, like the gentle patter of a light rain on a paper roof. It is a sound of patient growth, of slow transformation. The air is still and warm. This delicate, constant rustling is the first sound of the Silk Road, a sound of pure and quiet creation. Let that gentle rhythm soothe you, a soft, natural lullaby. The Silk Road was not a single road, but a shifting network of paths, like veins on a leaf, or the lines on your palm. It was not paved with stones, but with sand and dust and snow. It was a trail of footprints left by countless travelers over 1,000 years. A silent path remembered by the stars and the mountains. Imagine a trail that is almost invisible, a faint line across a vast, empty landscape, a suggestion of a journey fading and reappearing with the shifting winds, a quiet and endless path. For all its ancient history, the name the Silk Road is quite new. It was not called that by the traders or the nomads who traveled its lengths. They simply called it the Road to Samarkand, or the Path to the West. The name was coined in the 1870s by a German geographer, Ferdinand von Richthofen. He sat in a quiet study, far away from the desert sun, and drew a line on a map, giving a simple name to 1,000 years of complex journeys. A modern name for an ancient, silent network. The true hero of this long journey was the Bactrian camel, a creature of immense calm and endurance. With its 2 great humps and its steady, rocking gait, it could carry heavy loads for weeks through the harshest of lands. Imagine the slow, rhythmic sway of riding a camel, a gentle, hypnotic motion, back and forth, back and forth. The only sound is the soft padding of its feet on the sand, and the gentle creak of the leather saddle. A slow, steady rhythm carrying you deeper and deeper into slumber. Traveling east to west, one of the most precious materials was not silk, but jade, a stone of deep, cool green found in the rivers of the Khotan region. It felt cool and smooth to the touch, a piece of solid water, a fragment of a distant mountain stream. The Chinese revered it for its purity and its quiet strength. Imagine holding a piece of this ancient stone, feeling its weight, its coolness seeping into your palm, a feeling of deep and lasting calm. A quiet stone from a quiet riverbed. The caravans had to cross one of the world's most formidable deserts, the Taklamakan. Its name is often translated as, "He who enters does not come out." But let us think of it as a place of profound silence, a vast ocean of sand, where the sky feels immense and heavy. At night, the temperature drops, and the stars are brilliant and clear, like scattered diamonds on black velvet. There is no sound but the whisper of the wind, a lonely, ancient lullaby across the endless dunes, a deep and abiding stillness. After the emptiness of the desert, an oasis like Dunhuang was a paradise of rest. It was a place where the journey paused. Imagine arriving at dusk and hearing the gentle sound of water and the rustling of poplar leaves. The air cools, and the scent of damp earth and wood smoke fills the night. The caravans would rest, the camels would drink deeply, and the travelers would sleep under the safety of the city's walls. A moment of profound relief and quiet gratitude, a deep, peaceful rest. Near Dunhuang, carved into a cliffside, are the Mogao Caves, hundreds of small hand-carved sanctuaries. For over 1,000 years, monks, artists, and pilgrims worked here in quiet devotion. Imagine the cool, still air inside one of these caves. The only light is from a single butter lamp, flickering and casting soft shadows on ancient paintings. The silence is deep, broken only by the sound of your own slow breathing. It is a place of immense peace, a library of silence, a haven of stillness, carved from the earth itself. Another secret traveled slowly along the Silk Road, from east to west. It was the secret of making paper. Before paper, knowledge was written on heavy bamboo or expensive silk. Paper was light and patient. It could absorb ink and hold stories for centuries. Imagine the quiet, meditative process of mashing plant fibers into a pulp, floating them in water, and lifting a screen to form a single, delicate sheet. A slow and gentle process of creation that allowed ideas to drift across the world like floating seeds. The caravans carried not just sights, but smells. The heavy, warm scent of cinnamon bark, the sharp, sweet fragrance of cloves, the earthy aroma of nutmeg and pepper. These spices were stored in tightly woven sacks, but their perfume would still infuse the air around the campfires at night. A rich and soporific blend of distant lands. Breathe in slowly and imagine that warm, calming scent, a fragrance that has traveled thousands of miles to reach you, a scent of deep and peaceful relaxation. Samarkand. The name itself sounds like a whisper from a dream. It was a jewel of the Silk Road, a city of blue-tiled domes and quiet courtyards. Imagine standing in a silent square at night, the moon shining down on the vast, intricate patterns of the tiles. They shimmer with a deep, calming blue, the color of a twilight sky, or a deep, tranquil ocean. The air is cool, and the great buildings seem to hold the stillness of centuries within their walls. A city built for quiet contemplation and for dreams. The Silk Road was a place of 1,000 languages. At a caravanserai, the resting places along the route, you would hear a soft murmur of voices. Sogdian, Persian, Chinese, Sanskrit, Turkic, all blending together around a low fire. There was no need to understand the words. Just listen to the gentle cadence, the low, rhythmic hum of human connection, a soft and soothing soundscape, the rise and fall of different tones, different melodies, all speaking of long journeys and the desire for rest, a lullaby of distant voices. While China sent its silk westward, the Roman Empire sent its glass eastward. Roman glass was prized for its clarity and color. Imagine a delicate blue glass bottle, catching the last light of the setting sun. It holds the light within it, a cool, liquid glow. The journey would have been slow and careful, each piece wrapped in soft wool or straw, protected from the jolting of the caravan, a fragile treasure traveling across the world, a piece of the Mediterranean Sea, held solid in the desert. The journey also led through the Pamir Mountains, known as the roof of the world. Here, the air is thin, and the silence is absolute. Imagine the slow, steady plod of a caravan through a high mountain pass. The snow crunches softly underfoot. The sky is a deep, dark blue, and the snow-covered peaks seem to glow with their own internal light. The world is reduced to simple things: the rhythm of breathing, the warmth of your own body, and the immense, quiet presence of the mountains. A profound and heavy stillness. Along the route, about a day's journey apart, were the caravanserais. They were not cities, but simple, fortified inns, a safe place to rest. Imagine entering through a great wooden gate into a quiet central courtyard. The air is filled with the scent of animals and cooking food. You find a small, cool stone room and unroll your sleeping mat. The thick walls block out the sound of the wind, and for the first time in days, you are surrounded by a feeling of complete safety and deep, heavy rest. From Persia came another treasure, the knotted rug. Each one was a map of a garden, a portable paradise. The work was slow and meditative, knot after knot, row after row, a patient artist weaving dreams with wool and silk. Imagine tracing the intricate patterns with your finger, the deep reds and the calming blues. The soft, dense pile feels warm to the touch. Each rug was a story, told in thread, a story of patient, quiet work, meant to bring comfort and stillness to any room. The road carried more than goods. It carried ideas. The philosophy of Buddhism traveled eastward, from India into China, carried in the minds of monks and on the pages of quiet texts. It was a philosophy of stillness, of looking inward, of finding peace in the rhythm of your own breath. The ideas drifted slowly, like the smoke from incense, settling in quiet monasteries and mountain caves, a gentle current of calm, flowing along the same dusty paths, offering a different kind of wealth, the wealth of inner quiet. The Chinese emperors desired the magnificent horses from the Fergana Valley. They were called heavenly horses, said to be strong and swift. But let us not think of their speed. Let us think of them at rest, standing in a quiet, moonlit pasture. Their breath mists in the cool night air. Their powerful bodies are completely still, resting, gathering strength. They stand together in the darkness, a silent, sleeping herd, a picture of calm power and deep, quiet peace. The travelers navigated by the stars. At night, in the vast emptiness of the desert or mountains, the sky was a perfect, unchanging map. They knew the slow, predictable wheel of the constellations, the steady anchor of the North Star. Imagine lying on your back, wrapped in a warm blanket, looking up at that immense, silent clockwork. The stars do not hurry. They drift in a slow, cosmic rhythm. You can feel the steady, gentle turning of the earth beneath you, a slow and soothing rotation, lulling you to sleep. In a hidden chamber in the Mogao caves, a treasure trove was sealed away around the year 1000. It was a library of ancient manuscripts, sealed in the dark for nearly 900 years. Imagine the perfect silence of that hidden room, the dry, still air, the stacks of countless scrolls resting in the darkness. They waited patiently, holding their stories in a state of suspended time, a deep, profound quiet, a sleep of centuries, undisturbed by the world outside, a library of dreams, waiting. In some parts of the world, salt was as valuable as gold. It was a simple mineral, crystalline and pure. It was carried in heavy blocks on the backs of camels and yaks. Imagine the feel of a large salt crystal, cool and slightly rough. It tastes of the ancient sea. It preserves, it purifies. It is a simple and essential element of the earth. The caravans moved slowly, burdened by this simple, heavy, life-giving stone, a quiet and steady journey. Entertainment on the long journey was simple. At night, storytellers might use the light of the fire to create shadow puppets. With skilled hands, they could make the figures of heroes and animals dance on the wall of a tent. Imagine watching these silent, dancing shadows, a story told without words, just light and darkness. The figures flicker and float, their movements soft and graceful, a simple, mesmerizing display that could calm the mind and gently lead it towards dreams. To bring water to desert cities, ancient engineers in Persia built qanats, vast underground aqueducts. They worked in the cool, silent darkness, digging long, gently sloping tunnels to carry mountain water for miles. Imagine the sound inside one of these tunnels, the steady, gentle trickle of cool water echoing off the earthen walls. It is a sound of life and persistence, a constant, soothing murmur, hidden deep beneath the hot, dry land, a secret river flowing in the dark. The silk that began the journey was often transformed by its end. In cities like Damascus, weavers would create intricate brocades, weaving threads of gold and silver into the silk. This was work of incredible patience. The loom would clack in a slow, steady rhythm, hours upon hours, days upon days, a slow, meditative process of creating beauty through repetition. Let the thought of that steady rhythm, that quiet focus, help your own mind settle, finding a calm and steady pace. The date palm was the tree of life in the oasis. After a long day's travel, the simple sweetness of a dried date was a profound comfort. Imagine biting into one, the sticky, honey-like sweetness, a burst of concentrated sunshine. It was simple energy, a simple pleasure, a taste of resilience and rest, a small moment of sweetness in a long and arduous journey, a quiet and satisfying moment of pause. The nomads of the steppes lived in yurts, circular homes made of felt and wood. They could be packed up and moved, a portable circle of warmth. Imagine lying inside a yurt at night, listening to the wind outside, The thick felt walls muffle the sound, making it a distant, soothing whisper. The air inside is still and warm, scented with wool and wood smoke. The circular shape feels like a gentle embrace, a safe and quiet haven in the vast, open land. Many of the great cities of the Silk Road are now silent ruins. Places like Merv or Lulan, slowly reclaimed by the desert. The sand has filled the courtyards and softened the edges of the walls. Imagine walking through such a city at dusk. There's no sound but the wind. The streets that once bustled with life are now paths of deep silence. It is not a sad place, but a peaceful one, a place of deep rest, where all journeys have finally come to an end. Along the Silk Road, the art of calligraphy was a respected and meditative practice. Imagine a scholar in a quiet room, grinding an inkstone, a slow, circular, rhythmic motion. Then the soft touch of the brush to the paper, a single, fluid, unbroken stroke. The creation of a character is a moment of complete focus, a breath held and then released. It is a silent dance of ink and paper, a meditation in motion, a practice of deep and focused calm. In the great Gobi Desert, the heat would play tricks on the eyes. Travelers would see shimmering lakes or distant cities that were not there. These were not frightening visions, but soft, wavering dreams on the horizon. Imagine seeing a cool, blue lake shimmering in the distance. Its edges are soft and indistinct. It wavers and floats, a silent, hypnotic illusion, like a dream that you see while you are still awake, a gentle blurring of the line between the world and your imagination. A southern branch of the great network was the Tea Horse Road. Here, traders carried compressed bricks of tea from China's mountains to Tibet, trading them for strong mountain ponies. Imagine a brick of tea, hard and dense, with the leaves pressed into a solid block. It has a deep, earthy scent. The journey was through misty mountains and deep gorges. The slow, steady caravans, carrying the gift of warmth and calm in these solid, quiet bricks. Arab and Persian scholars perfected the astrolabe, an instrument for navigating by the stars. It was a beautiful object of brass, with intricate interlocking rings and dials. Imagine holding one at night, its cool metal a comfort in your hands. You align it with a familiar star, and the instrument silently tells you your place in the vast world. It is a device of quiet confidence, a way of finding order and a steady path in the immense darkness. While the East was famous for silk, the West was known for its wool, thick, heavy wool from sheep and goats, woven into warm blankets and sturdy clothes. It was not as glamorous as silk, but it was a textile of comfort and protection. Imagine the weight of a heavy wool blanket wrapping around you on a cold desert night. The feeling of security, of warmth, of simple, honest comfort as you drift off to sleep, protected from the cold. In the evenings, at the caravanserais, a storyteller might share ancient tales, not with excitement, but with a low, rhythmic voice. The stories were long and meandering, full of repetition, the kind of story you can drift in and out of. The goal was not to surprise, but to soothe, to pass the quiet hours. Allow my voice to be like that of the storyteller, a low, steady murmur a gentle rhythm that you don't need to follow closely. Just let the sound wash over you. Travelers pass the long hours with quiet games, like Go, a simple board with a grid of lines. Two players take turns placing black and white stones. There are no sudden moves, no loud cries. It is a game of immense quiet and patience, a slow dance of strategy. Imagine the gentle click of a stone being placed on the wooden board, a quiet, deliberate sound, followed by a long, peaceful silence, a game of pure and meditative thought. In the desert city of Yazd, ancient architects built wind catchers, tall towers designed to guide cool breezes down into the houses below. They were an early form of air conditioning. Imagine sitting in a cool, dark room on a hot day. You can hear the gentle whisper of the wind as it is guided down the tower, a soft, constant sigh. It is the sound of cleverness and comfort. The house itself seems to be breathing, a slow, deep, calming breath. Another precious commodity was indigo dye, which produced a deep, mesmerizing blue. It was made from plants, in a long, slow process of fermentation. Imagine a large clay vat, filled with a dark, almost black liquid. When a piece of white cloth is dipped in and then lifted out, it slowly turns a deep, rich blue as it meets the air. A moment of quiet magic, the color of the night sky, born from a simple green leaf, a deep and calming transformation. When a caravan was high in the mountains, sound behaved differently. The thin air carried less noise. A shout would sound small and close. The world would seem wrapped in a thick blanket of silence. The only sounds were the ones you made yourself, the crunch of your feet, the rhythm of your own breathing. It was a silence so profound, you could almost feel its weight, a deep, heavy, and peaceful, quiet. The Persian garden was designed to be a paradise on earth. It was a place of order and tranquility. 4 channels of water would divide the garden, representing the 4 rivers of life, meeting at a central pool. The sound was of gently flowing water and the rustle of leaves. The scent was of roses and jasmine. It was a small, enclosed world of perfect peace, a place to rest the eyes and quiet the mind, a sanctuary of calm. The Silk Road did not end suddenly. It slowly faded, like a path that is no longer used. As sea travel became safer and faster, the long, slow caravans became less common. The oases saw fewer visitors. The caravanserais fell into disuse. It was a slow and gradual decline, a long exhale. The journey was ending, not with a crash, but with a quiet settling, like dust on a forgotten road. Let's return to the idea of weaving. The steady rhythm of the loom is a deeply hypnotic sound. The shuttle passes back and forth, back and forth. The heddles rise and fall, rise and fall. It is a predictable and comforting pattern, a simple, mechanical lullaby. Imagine this steady rhythm, a sound of patient creation, a sound that has been heard in quiet rooms for thousands of years. Let it guide your own breathing, in and out, a steady, peaceful rhythm. At night, someone would always stay awake to watch over the resting caravan. Imagine being that watchman. The camp is silent, Everyone is asleep. The fire has burned down to glowing embers. Your only companions are the sleeping camels and the vast, silent desert. You walk a slow, circular path around the camp. Your footsteps make no sound in the soft sand. It is a duty of quiet vigilance, a peaceful and solitary responsibility, the guardian of sleep. The artistry of the Silk Road was not always grand. Think of a simple clay pot, covered in a beautiful cracked glaze. The pattern of the cracks is random and perfect, a network of fine lines, like a frozen spider web or a dry riverbed. It is a beauty born of time and heat and slow cooling, a testament to quiet, patient craftsmanship, a simple object made with care, intended for a long and useful life. Lapis lazuli, a deep blue stone mined in the mountains of Afghanistan, was another treasure of the road. It was ground into a powder to make the pigment ultramarine, the most expensive and vibrant of blues. Imagine a small pile of this deep blue powder. It seems to absorb the light, a color as deep as the midnight sky, or the bottom of the ocean, a color of profound depth and stillness, a piece of the mountain, a piece of the sky, held in a single silent pigment. In the Buddhist regions, travelers would encounter prayer wheels, cylinders inscribed with mantras, turned by hand or by the wind or water. Each turn is considered a prayer. Imagine the sound of a large old wooden prayer wheel turning slowly on its axis, a soft rhythmic creak, and a gentle papery whisper from the scrolls inside. It is a sound of continuous and effortless devotion, a steady and calming rotation that goes on and on and on. In the heat of the desert, a well was the center of life. Imagine leaning over the stone edge of a deep well. The air that rises up is cool and smells of damp earth and stone. It is a profound relief. The sound of the bucket descending on the rope, a slow, unspooling sound, followed by a distant, soft splash. Then the slow, heavy work of pulling it back up. A simple, life-giving rhythm, a moment of coolness and deep, satisfying quiet. Trade was done with coins of gold and silver and bronze. They were often irregular in shape, worn smooth by countless hands over many years. Imagine holding a few of these ancient coins in your palm. Feel their weight, their coolness. They make a soft, dull clinking sound as they touch. They do not represent wealth, but journeys. Each coin has passed through so many hands, so many places. They are quiet witnesses to 1,000 stories, 1,000 moments of exchange, now resting peacefully. For a caravan crossing the mountains in autumn, the first snowfall was a moment of transformation. Imagine waking up one morning to a world made silent. A soft white blanket covers everything, muffling all sound. The air is still and cold and clean. The only sound is the soft puff of your own breath. The world has paused, resting under a fresh layer of quiet. A moment of pure and profound stillness. A deep and peaceful hush. Travelers along the Silk Road often left their mark, not as grand monuments, but as small carvings on rocks and canyon walls. A name, a date, a simple drawing of a camel or a horse. These were not shouts for attention, but whispers. I was here. I passed this way. Imagine tracing one of these faint carvings with your finger, a connection across 1,000 years, a quiet acknowledgement of a shared journey on a long and silent road. All journeys must end. The silk and spices and ideas reached their destination. The caravans were unloaded, the camels were tended, and the travelers found their rest. There was no grand ceremony, just a quiet sense of arrival, a slow unwinding of the long miles. And now our journey too is coming to its end. The road has led you here to this quiet moment on the edge of sleep. There is nothing left to do but rest, to let go, and to drift. The long road has disappeared behind you. The stories have been told. All that is left is the deep silence, the soft darkness, and the feeling of rest you have earned. You are safe, you are comfortable, and you are ready for sleep. Let your mind become as vast and as quiet as the desert night sky. Let each thought drift away like a cloud. There is only stillness now, only peace. Sleep now, sleep deeply. Good night.